Well, we had an incredible night last night. Stay tuned for this video because we have some amazing shots of the northern lights. It was the very first time we could see them with the naked eye, where they were like dancing and they were flickering. They were so vibrant. It was absolutely amazing. I was up a little bit late last night. We took a few rounds. It would die down. We'd come back in and we'd go back out. And we took a lot of photos and time lapses. So stay tuned. The best show I've ever seen of them, ever. As you can see, we got a thick frost last night. I think the beans are pretty much done. The frost got them. So I'm just going to show you the frost, and I'm going to go let the chickens out. The poor chickens. We got to get them. The poor little baby's probably frozen, but thank goodness mother's looking after him. The frost right on those. So these are pretty much dead now, which is okay because I'm waiting for these beans to go to seed. You can see here, just need to get them all dried out. So look at the frost down here. Oh yeah, like that's pure ice on there. Now the chard and the kale and stuff, even the beets don't mind frost. Sometimes turnips and carrots and beets actually prefer the frost to sweeten them up a little bit. Yeah, see, there's the beet. Got some, look at that. It's like shiny. You can hear it too. Like, look at that. It's just like ice. Anyways, there's a couple of our beets. You can see decent size. I think we got about 6 decent size ones. Frost isn't so great for the celery, but it seems to not hit it as hard. And then I got some frost on my herbs and the kale. The kale's got some frost, but the kale, it doesn't hurt the kale. Look at that, like this little ice beads. So I got our first frost finally. I thought it would have been sooner than now, but I'm thankful that it wasn't. And the turnip. So this is going to be our one and only Thanksgiving turnip, as you remember from the video. And the frost usually ends up killing the zucchinis, but that's okay. And I'm thankful I got my potatoes out. And really everything that needed to come out got out. Look at the frost. Well, we knew it was coming. We just didn't know when. Anyways, I'd say these zucchinis, I can probably pull them. I'm probably going to be spending next week getting rid of all these things now that the frost came. Well, now that you've seen the first frost here on the homestead, I'm gonna go, I gotta get feed for the little baby. Anyways, I'm gonna go let the chickens out. I'll bring you with me to do that as well. Funny thing is, I don't know why this always happens, but we have 3 broody hens in our barnyard mix right now that will not get off the eggs. One of them's a Chanticleer, and then we have 2 that are just a barnyard mix that are laying on eggs. And I'm like, every winter we have babies, and I don't know why, because I hate having babies in the winter. I always fear that they get too cold or not eating enough, and I don't like them all cooped up in the barn all winter, So one thing about having babies in the spring is they can be out of the barn, because I find that the barn in the winter is probably like the worst time to pick up, germs and diseases for little babies. But anyway, happens every year. I mean, last year I think we had a baby that hatched out in January, so I guess if November is probably not as bad as January, but still. There's mom and dad and baby. Got them separated from the rest. Baby's definitely getting much bigger now. Mama's leaving it on its own a little bit more. Hey, Betty. Few of our chickens are molting, like that one over there is going through a molt. I know you can't see her that well, it's dark, but that's broody hen number 1. Oh, we're missing another broody hen. Broody hen number 2, and then we had another hen in here, but I think this one probably kicked her out. She's a little bit more aggressive. So they're probably together sitting on about 50 eggs, which usually only like maybe 3 at the max actually get hatched. So believe it or not, this one right here was hatched out in January by the Chanticleers. And she had been sitting and been broody on some eggs, but I think the Chanticleer mama kicked her off her broodiness. And I've got to give these guys some food still. So I'm going to do that. And I don't know if I've told you yet, but this is our new chicken coop, which we will be getting to show you the process on how we're doing that up. But that's going to be specifically for the these guys, the blue lace red Wyandottes. Since we have, I don't know where she went, but we have another hen over here, just because she was fighting with the mama and we didn't want her with the baby. But daddy and mummy seem to do okay with the chick. So once that one's kind of big enough, we'll put them in there. And then all of these guys over here, they'll be going into that chicken coop as well. So these are actually a splash, which are a blue lace red Wyandotte kind of breed, but they're a splash, so they're not like a true blue, but the same family. So if we mix the father that's a black with these splashes, we get 50% splash or 50% blue. So we got to kind of keep a few splashes around, but we definitely need some blacks to keep that blue line in place. You're probably wondering where this new chicken coop came from. We had talked about building a chicken coop, but we just didn't get the time to do it. And we had opportunity to have this, was at once an old ice shack. It was just Jay and I, so it was a bit of a tricky day trying to get this thing off of the trailer. It ended up being that every time we tried to get it off, it was moving further and further from the location we wanted it. Technically, it's still in the location, not where we wanted it, but it'll end up doing, because once this thing is placed, we cannot move it. Jay figured out a way that we could back it up and move it somewhat back to where we wanted it. As you can see, do not try this at home. No one was hurt during the making of this video, but it was a challenge. We're thankful we got it off. Nothing broke, all was well. We also had our neighbor pop by just for a second pair of hands in case something happened. So we'll be working on this in the future. So stay tuned for our new chicken coop and what it's going to look like when it's finished. As promised, I said to stick around for the northern lights. Anyways, I hope you enjoy, because they were absolutely amazing.